Our next speaker, Prish Moran. Yes, I know. A middle-aged, fearless, and city-loving woman. VWer. BS in design. Self-taught decorative painter and craftsman. Restorer of old buildings. Cafe owner. Community activist. Mother, friend, and neighbor. And who I think is a true celebrity of Buffalo. Prish, come on up.
You're awesome, thank you. Hi, I need my specs, sorry. Yeah, I totally messed up on this, so just be patient because I asked Melissa, what do you want me to talk about here? And here you go, here it starts. That's my life, and it's really that's me in the back, standing on the chair, and that's really where my roots start and what gives me, you know, what I do now. Fearless, you know, doing anything. That's my building. I totally don't match my my slides. So I'm going to read from this and you enjoy the slides. This is one of my projects, or three, but it's, yeah, those are my humble beginnings. And those life lessons continue to carry me through every single day of my life. I had a real happy family and a happy environment, and it was full of creativity, you know, making everything out of found objects, and that carried through my professional life as well. Man, I'm still me. That's all I can say. This Scots-Irish girl from a big family outside of New York City. I'm not a brand. I'm not a profession. I'm pretty multifaceted. I can hardly read this, but building, painting, sewing, designing, and I do a myriad of things and all at the same time. Just because it's the way my brain works, and you see something that needs doing and you just do it. Yeah, that's the Tabernacle, that's me painting it. But that's Grant Street. I bought that big old building over there. So, yeah, I should probably just throw this away. I don't even remember what it says. But the big thing really is, since we're talking about architecture, since I didn't know, I thought we were talking about me. So that's what my whole thing was about, me. So most importantly, yeah, that's my latest project. And it's connected to my Cafe Sweetness 7, which I should probably backtrack and say I bought this building in a second when I talk about doing everything by the seat of my pants. You know, walking by one sunny day and a handshake with a gentleman that I knew that was connected to this boarded up. That's the inside of that about, I don't know, a few months ago, of the Tabernacle. And we shook hands, and I bought the building for $112,000. I bought the whole block and the Tabernacle for $112,000, and went home, and yeah, there was nothing going on Grant Street. I ended up divorced over it, but whatever. It's just, you know, that's the ceilings as they're going now. But I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Bob Franke is the gentleman who pretty much changed my life by buying this whole building. It's 5 storefronts and 7 apartments. See, I don't fix anything well. I just put paint on everything, and somehow it just looks great anyway. You know, with just color. Color's so amazing. So, thank you. So, I just can say that Bob Franke, he connected me with the attorney who was connected to this long vacant building. That's the inside of my cafe. Everything's from reuse and people's garages and me painting stuff. No plans. There's never plans. You just move forward every day and say, oh, cabinets. Maybe I'll put those on the wall. So that is really the way I design. So I bought the building, and it was going to be a Rite Aid, apparently, in 2 days. Rite Aid was trying to put a bid on it and plow it down like they did many other buildings on Grant Street. And so it was pretty miraculous for me that I had just happened for the first time in my life to walk on Grant Street and see someone I know planting a tree, and him knowing who was selling it, and they sold it to me anyway. And that's the hallway in my residential units upstairs. It's kind of Alice in Wonderland-ish, but it, you know, it cost me like a nickel to, you know, put linoleum tiles sideways and throw a little bright green paint on the walls. That's what the inside of the apartments look like, which I intended it for the apartments. I thought they were going to be for students, and it's all from reused things, right down to the stove and the ovens. Everything came from reuse or other buildings that were being taken apart, or people who would just call me and say, I have old cabinets, do you want them? And so that's the other cafe I had over on Parkside. My daughter, who's sitting here, actually painted the front little pieces while she got home from school in the afternoon, so she didn't have a choice. But I guess most importantly, without driving you nuts with going all over the place, it's really about, in my opinion, design on a dime. I probably should have made that show, because the fact is it doesn't have to cost a fortune to rehab these buildings. I think it prevents a lot of people from buying a building and rehabbing it or just opening a shop, because it's embedded in our minds that it costs, that's the inside of my Parkside shop, it costs a fortune, everyone thinks, but it doesn't. You know, when you use furnishings and wood and old floors, old tile from ceilings from other buildings, old windows you find in your garage when you don't know what you're going to do for window treatments, and you just hang those in the front, you know? It's just not about money, really, when you're redoing a building. It's about gut instinct, and I guess I don't think of end use all the time. It's just really all about what you have on hand. You know, my curtains, it was an old door that I found in my garage, and it just fit, and it ended up working well. That back wall was just so big in my cafe, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, so I had some markers in my paint box, because my neck hurt so bad putting the tin ceiling up, which came from the old Art Voice building. And I just kind of sketched out Grant Street real fast, and it's still there, because I never had time to fill it in or do anything else with it. But, and